around the world and across Nigeria. If you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. Now to our main conversation for today. Scores of persons have been killed, with more than 100 seriously injured in suicide attacks targeting a wedding, a hospital, motor park, and a funeral in Borno State, northeast Nigeria.
Yes, and in one of 3 blasts on Saturday in the town of Goza, a woman with a baby strapped to her back detonated explosive in the middle of a wedding ceremony, according to the state police.
Very true. But the Borno State Police spokesperson Nahum Kenneth also said another woman carrying a baby on her back detonated again an improvised explosive device she had on her at a crowded motor park.
And that's very true. Why that CMAD? Another female suicide bomber also targeted a hospital in the same town, which lies across the border from Cameroon, and another attack was later carried out at the funeral for victims of the wedding blast.
The northern region has been scarred by more than a decade of violence by the jihadist group Boko Haram, which did not immediately claim responsibility for the latest string of attacks.
True. And Bakindo Saidu, the head of Borno State's Emergency Management Agency, said that the dead comprised children, men, women, and pregnant women, with some already taken to a tertiary hospital in the regional capital, Maiduguri.
Very true. And to do justice to this very sensitive, important discussion, just to let you know that the Cyril Abaku, we have to, let him go for the want of time. But of course, we have Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid, Barrister at Law and Public Affairs Commentator. Good morning to you and welcome to Enterprise Morning. And still with us, Pastor Van Sofeli. Thank you so very much also for being part of our show today.
Yeah, thank you. And getting into the story we have on our decks this morning, it is now becoming a norm, looking at what is happening in the north, especially when it comes to explosive suicide bombers, and also what happened in Kaduna this year that also led to the Air Force mistakenly bombing a particular village, thinking that was where the supposed terrorists were at. And this morning we had a report from the president on the national dailies saying justice must be served. Starting with you, Barrister Evans Feli, how long will Nigerians continue like this? And we've never heard in our history, let's say 4 or 5 years, of some of these terrorists being nabbed and brought to book. Do you think there would be a change, or the terrorists will be brought to book with this current case in Maiduguri?
Well, the president is saying that justice must be served. That statement don't sit well with me, because not too long ago, the economic backbone of that group, the Boko Haram group, through some investigation, the federal government uncovered certain persons who were responsible for funding them. Okay, and those persons were mentioned and described. Some mentioned, some described. Okay, now the federal government have not done anything whatsoever to prosecute them up until now. Okay, so we are watching now, because the truth is that if you are saying justice must be served, what kind of justice are you talking about? Are you talking about deploying the army to go and carry out attack on Boko Haram, or to go and wage war against them? Or are you talking about retributive justice? Or are you talking about karma? Karma is hopeless. No country relies on karma, because karma is useless. Karma have never been able to solve any problem anywhere. So which kind of justice are we talking about? Is it jungle justice? Is it retributive justice? Is it karma? Or what is the president talking about? You know the people who sponsor them. You have a searchlight that see and monitor the activities in the wild. You have not been able to take a decisive decision on this issue. And they are saying justice will be served. How? Okay, look at the level they have gotten into now. You strap a baby at your back as a woman. That is a strategy to extinguish any form of suspicion. Okay, in a burial and in 2 other events, yes, right?
Motor park.
At the same time. So in 3 different occasions, just like how many days? So you see that the terror, okay, and this man inhumanity to man has deepened so much so that the life of an adult and a child is taken into that in order that some other persons are killed so that government will be embarrassed and all that. And you have stated that you know the people funding them. So these people, this woman that carry a baby in her back cannot afford explosive. One explosive, it costs a lot of money to. So if somebody is somewhere making the purchase, importing these things, these bombs and all that, and then giving them these things, maybe paying them some money or taking care of the children that will be left after they are gone, and things like that. And this is going on. And you come to tell the public that you know them, you have identified them, and you are doing nothing about it, and you are saying justice will be served. Don't know what this kind of thing is. So I don't.
Pastor Tunji, it's so very unfortunate that the last time we had this grievous arson during the days of President Goodluck Jonathan, that was when we had such a magnitude of terrorism. If this were to happen in other country, by now their flags would have been flown at half-mast. But of course, in Nigeria, it's one of those, the politicians would say. But what do you think would have been the best response from the president and the presidency in this particular matter?
The only response is to take steps to ensure that this do not happen. It's not about making statement that they will do justice or they will ensure justice is done. That's not the only thing, and they're failing that. What they fail. The only thing, if we are to be in a country where people value what they are doing and they respect their position, they will have realized that, look, what they are doing is contrary to what they were sworn to do. They said they were sworn to protect the life and properties of Nigerians, and having faith in that regard, whatever reason, whether they are fault or not their fault, because people will say, is it the president's fault? Was it the one that should we be the one that will go and start monitoring them? Whether it's the one or not, it's his responsibility to ensure that things do not go wrong. Whatever goes wrong, he should be take responsibility for it. So I was expecting that that's the way that will not happen in this country. That the best thing to do to say, look, I am sorry, I've failed you. I've not been able to do my job. I want to tender my resignation. But that's just in a country where people follow. No, I'm not talking about Nigeria, because that will never happen. No matter what. In fact, people will even give excuses for the president for why the reason why. This is just a normal thing that it's become a normal situation in this country today. And to think that just a week or so ago, our vice president was boasting that insecurity is a thing of the past or something. And then probably is a response.
It's a response.
It's a response to it that, look, we are still available. You see, we are not doing anything. We're not doing anything differently. We're not doing anything to so look. This issue should be nailed. When we were told that over 400 people were arrested as a Boko Haramist or terrorists or whatever, none of them has been none of them are not aware. They've been taken to court.
In fact, many have been set free.
Yes,
just some couple of months back.
Rather, they were looking at how to give them amnesty, how to bring them back into the community, how to resolve, how to make them part of the military system. That is not the way to run a country. That's not the way to go. You are encouraging criminality. I've been saying it. As long as you pity those who commit crime, as long as you have that sentiment for people who commit crimes, as long as you feel somehow for them being punished, you are encouraging them, because for what it is, I have said it, that if anybody can be given an amnesty, and in as much as those we call Boko Haram or bandits have been given an amnesty, I expect the government to also go into the prison and bring everybody out and say, you, in the name of in the spirit of amnesty, we are setting all of you free. Because these people some of these people are even in custody in our constitutional center today. Some of them are just a minor offense. They committed minor offenses. These people have killed allegedly. So, and yes, they are being pardoned. Yes, they are being saying they have been rehabilitated. Their victims are somewhere in IDP. Some of them are underneath. Yet those who committed the crime have been considered for good things, have been considered for amnesty, have been considered for, as long as we continue in this manner, we will not get it right. So the major problem we have in this country is inability to punish adequately for wrong committed. And it has become enough for the president, for the governor, or presidency, or whoever to come out and start making a statement. In fact, they have it somewhere. They just speak it and read it to us. So that will be the end of it. By tomorrow or next tomorrow, now when you hear another thing, that this today's zone is gone, nobody will talk about it again. And that's the end of it.
Yeah, thank you, Barrister Tunji. Now over to you, Barrister Ofeli. Where do our security come in here? Now talking about the Chief of Army Staff, talking about those who are supposed to secure us. Because most times when they talk, sometimes let's go far back into when they had the NSAS and they went down to where these young Nigerians were actually protesting and they said order from above. Now, do you think the order from above is at this point holding them back from doing their jobs? Because I know we have passionate people that got into the army or got into some of the security positions because they want to secure lives of people. Do you think sometimes these leaders are being held back from doing the right thing because of the order from above in court?
Well, the way the army operates is that they operate based on command. And in the army, there's not like discretion. Maybe in times of war, you can have soldiers can deploy discretion. That is in the act of war itself. But as to the strategy and what to do and what not to do, there's always a chain of command. Okay, which will. But you know, you can go into the army with all the passion in the world. Nigeria have a way of deflecting your passion. You understand? You look at how they treat people that want to go to university. You deny them the course they want and you give them anything you like. So at the entry point, at 15, 16, your country has already disappointed you. Your country has told you that your desire, your will, what you want to do, you cannot do it. They will not allow you to do it, to give you anything they like for you to do. So they start to diminish your passion. That is why most people, before they graduate, they're already looking for how to run away to a country where they can say, I want to do this, and they will become it. Okay, so our problems are multifaceted. The worrisome part about it is that you have a national security advisor. I don't know what his office is meant for. I don't know what they do in that office. When they hear news like this, that were like this in the morning, and nobody's resigning, nobody's perturbed. Okay, that a woman, even in the Middle East, I've never seen this level. I know that people carry bomb in their body and all that, single-handedly jump into a crowd and kill people and all that. But a woman will now strap a child at the back, an innocent child, who neither know terrorism or neither know whether the child doesn't even know the country where he is. Doesn't even know the country where he is, where she or he is. And then and we're watching that. We're seeing this kind of things and we just gloss over it. The government that is supposed to have the monopoly of violence has relinquished it to the terrorists. So is the terrorists now that use violence to determine the state of the country? When you don't have, because I don't even know why we allow government to get away with all these things. In some other places, people will come out and say, government, enough is enough. You cannot have this kind of thing ongoing for a long time. And that is why they don't take us serious when we travel abroad. You say they embarrass your president in South Africa, and so what? You say the way they treat Nigerians all over the world is not good. How can it be good? When you don't have a reputation at home, you have not built anything that is worthy of emulation. So we keep dwindling ourselves up on this, but because we think when we close our eyes to these things, then it's them. We don't know that the ripple effect is that it counts on us. Okay, as a people that have not been able to put. We're not even talking about poverty now, the economic issue and the situation. We're talking about fundamentalism. We're talking about terror against the poor. Because this explosion and all that, it's not rich people they are bombing. The people that are in motor parks, are they rich men? Rich men don't go to motor parks. Rich men don't even know that motor park exists. It's when you tell them they remember how. Some of them don't know how it looks like any longer. You understand? So it's even the poor against the poor, the embarrassed government. So the whole thing is what government need to do is to step into the gap to provide an environment, enabling environment for the citizens to strive. Okay? And what is that? Government responsibility is security. The security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. We keep saying it. So now that we don't have security and we don't have welfare, these people in Abuja, what are they doing? It's not the government. There's no government. They don't even provide amenities. So they are just there. Every morning they will read something to you. They will just be telling you stories. After this tenure, another tenure will come. After this one, another one will go. And you keep hearing stories. So me, I don't believe that we are really going anywhere forward. We are not moving forward.
We have government. The government is not, it's not for the people. It's for themselves. That's it. It's for people, selfish interest and so on.
But if you look at the definition of government from the Constitution, it didn't say it should be for them.
It has been changed in our own situation in Nigeria.
Okay.
So
all right.
you have the right to also affect your own democracy or government.
Now, very true. The security and welfare of the people is the central purpose of government anywhere in the world. But let's take a look at this issue. When it comes to a crime as a crime, when it comes to issue like Okwama, it was easy because they understood where the issue was coming from, where the target came from. It was, of course, easy to cordon that particular area and ensure that peace was brought into that particular place. But how do we deal with issue of non-conventional terrorism in this particular case? The baby's trapped, of course, it's like a smoke screen. The army didn't see it coming. The society didn't even see it coming. How do you think the military can better come to a solution in a non-conventional terror tactics?
Unfortunately, I'm not the military.
You have the name of the sponsors go after the sponsors.
In fact, I'm not even surprised.
Did the woman buy that explosive herself?
Yes.
Can she afford it?
I've said it. Well, the only way you can curb it is to ensure that, look, these people have been named.
Disable them.
People have been named. People have been identified. There are even some of those people in government there one time or the other. Even the current vice president was one time alleged to be the sponsor, because you recall that the start of Boko Haram was the killing of Yusuf, and Yusuf was a commissioner under the administration of when he was governor. The current vice president was the governor, and the Yusuf, who was said to be the leader of the Boko Haram, was a commissioner under his administration, and he was alleged to be the creator of what's it called? Our time Mr. The man in white, in Jume, was also alleged of being so all these things were, and yet these people are still the one in charge. So if you are alleging people of being a part of the system that is causing us problem, and yet they are the one in charge, and you are expecting a good result. Yet those who are there, those who the NSA, the chief, those who are in security, they have the solution in their hands, only that they don't have the political will to do it. I can't remember the name now, and I can't remember his position. He is a former whether chief of staff or chief of army staff. I can't remember. He was made an ambassador somewhere in Benin. So after his exit, he said this thing will continue for over 20 years. He said it immediately after his exit. I can't remember his name now, but he's part of the what are these people now? Is it chief of army staff or chief of staff? I can't remember which of it, but he's part of the service chiefs.
The one in Jos?
It's one of the service chiefs. Yeah.
Okay.
He was removed when people were changing the service chiefs.
Okay.
He was made ambassador. He was taken to Benin Republic of Shu.
Buratai.
He said it will take over 20 years for this thing to die down. So, and nobody is questioning that, nobody is interrogating that. They didn't call him to come and tell us why.
Explain. The DSS is there.
But everybody just ignore it. Some people will make fighter statement in this country that will lead to certain results, but they will just ignore it, or they will look at it and say.
But when Melafia, the late Melafia, made his own statement, the DSS invited him.
Yes.
Is it because it's an outsider?
It's an outsider. It's an outsider, and it's very easy. When somebody within the government makes statements, they will not see that.
They will ignore it.
They will ignore it, and they will take it as a normal statement, or even try to color it for us. What is it? So the point is that we don't punish people for crime. We don't even we don't even investigate some of these issues to be able to say, look, before it becomes a serious issue, let's take it to the board. We don't do that. We only react to when last you hear government do anything regarding security, except trying to just be there and waiting for something to happen to start making.
And we saw videos over the weekend of some Boko Haram or insurgents who have been brought into the country in their massive numbers being thrown into.
This is the time they will not say army has been deployed to Gaza. I see those people will stay there and then we will just follow what that like you said, they dictate to us how to run our affairs now, because now the military will be deployed to Gaza now. That area will be empty. Those people will now go to that area. Then when they are attacking those area again, they will move them back to that. That is the way we now operate. We are no plan, nothing. We are not doing anything. We are bought to Kano jets to fight what? What are you? Where is it? Is it doing anything?
They are not using it.
They're not. So we have a lot now. I don't know. We have a lot in our hands to deal with. There is no serious efforts. That's the way I see it. To put this thing behind us.
But they keep showing us satellite videos of these people, where they are, how they move around in the wild, and how they carry out their pastimes and all that. And then they also gave us a list and a description of those who sponsor them and all that. So why is it that the government is unable to go after them? That is one question I don't understand. Is the government part of them? You are forced to ask that kind of a question. Maybe whether government is part of it. I don't know. Yeah, people.
This.
Mentioned.
Yeah.
Mentioned. We don't even know who they are.
Yeah,
and
very
like
true.
You said, for anybody to have an ability to infect, to get those things they are using, you must be rich.
It's expensive.
It's not something that somebody who's poor. In fact, I most those women or whatever, I think they are just being. Some of them are just being used against their will.
Very true.
That is the way I see it sometimes.
And you see this, you see them in their numbers. One AK-47 is about 5 million.
Very true.
One. So when you now have mass, you have mass of it. Like you have, that if even the person who is providing those ammunition couldn't have been a businessman.
If you look at it,
you will take your profit to go and buy those things and give people.
He may have what he's looking for, where he's making his money. He may have it. You can't say. It may be a business, because if you look, we have been told that those who kidnap are not the real owner of the ransom. They deliver to certain people.
No, they deliver.
So that is recouping.
They are middlemen.
Investment. Yes. So if you look at those who carry those AK-47, you will see that these people can't even afford to buy this.
Very true. Very true.
Some of them are being used.
They don't even look well fed.
We are not proactive in making this in the board, and that's just it. We just try to stop, identify on paper, and nothing more. And that's the end of it.
Very, very true. This brings my attention to the former minister, Pantami, who was alleged to have little affiliation with a terrorist group. But he said it was when he was still a young man, and of course the story went on, and it's very so unfortunate. ISIS, we started in the Middle East, that are currently domiciled in the sub-Saharan Africa, and Nigeria is one of those countries, and so very unfortunate. But of course, we pray for those that were lost, and pray that the government will do the needful to ensure that we would have such issue, again in our country, in Nigeria. Well, that's just about the time we have for this episode. We would love to say thank you to Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid for being part of our show today. Thank you so very much, Barrister Van Zafeli. Thank you also for hanging on. Choma, Thank you
Thank you.
for being
Harry.
an awesome host with me too, co-host with me. So we'd love to say thank you to everyone. Most importantly, you made it a time with us, and we truly do appreciate your time. But please visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com, like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Igwebike.
And I'm Chuma.
On behalf of the entire team of Enterprise Television, we'd love to say thank you for watching once more, and bye-bye from us.
Bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.